What's up, ladies and gentlemen of YouTube? Boogie2988 coming at you live once again through the power of the internet. And this is my weekly gaming roundup show, so let's get right into the games. So EA is back in the news, this time again for microtransactions and loot boxes inside the game UFC3. Which is kind of weird to me that people are complaining about this. But for those of you who do not know, there are, in fact, I guess, loot boxes in this game as I understand it. And there are star cards that will affect your character's power level, including one that affects his just basic punch. So if you get the 5-star basic punch, you're punching harder than everybody else. And of course, that does affect multiplayer too. So weird design choice. Now, what was so surprising about this to me had nothing to do with the fact that this is terrible inside the game. Of course it is. This is something you should complain about. What's surprising to me is that I guess a lot of journalists were not aware that this is pretty much status quo when it comes to EA's sports games, because they've had microtransactions built into them for years, including like $99 purchase options that will get you coins that you can use to buy card packs that you can then use to unlock your ultimate fantasy team. In fact, it's one of the biggest, highest fraud items on Xbox and PlayStation. People will hack into your account to buy those coins, to trade the cards to other players and stuff like that. Pretty crazy stuff. So this is not new to see this in a sports game. And I don't know if it was in UFC 1 or 2, but the fact that it's in 3 just kind of makes sense. It's what EA does. I'm glad there's an outrage there, but I don't know why that outrage didn't come sooner. But it's pretty wild stuff. It's pretty crazy stuff that this has just been part of gaming so long that I don't even bat an eye when you put it into another sports game, because sports game players, I guess, like this stuff. I don't know. I do think there's definitely a line in the sand here that we can draw where we say we don't want this in stuff like Need for Speed. We don't want to see the stuff in Star Wars Battlefront 2. But when it comes to sports games, I mean, honestly, either the types of people who enjoy those games tend to like that kind of thing, or they just ignore it, or something along that lines. But I honestly think at this point, if you're trying to get that out of sports games, it's probably a lost cause, which sucks because I used to really enjoy a good Madden from time to time. Well, for those of you who are big fans of Valve's older games like Left 4 Dead and Portal, I got good news and I got bad news. The good news is there is a new Portal game that got announced. The bad news, it is a bridge constructor game. That's right, you're basically going to be using portals to make a bridge constructor. And obviously, this is not getting made by Valve, it's getting made by the people who made bridge constructors. So I think we can officially say Valve just doesn't make video games anymore. I think this is a case of them selling their license to someone else to use the whole thing. And I guess maybe they will be doing voiceover for GLaDOS and stuff like that, and they'll have the feel of Portal. But I think the idea of us ever getting a Portal 3, just like Half-Life 3, now is officially dead. But it's something. I mean, I guess it's better than just sitting around and doing what Valve has been doing for a while, selling hats and skins and counting their money. So at least they're trying. It's better than nothing, I guess. Now, the good news is the internet went all Francis on this. The comments on the video pretty much doubt this game could possibly exist, and it's got a terrible like to dislike ratio until they disabled it. And a lot of people are like, is this April Fool's? Is this a joke? Is this like some sort of gag leading into Portal 3? I hope that's it. I hope that by the time this video gets released, we have already found out that it's actually just a gag and Portal 3 is coming sometime before Christmas. Wouldn't that be great? But probably not. But Gabe, please. Please? Now, everybody loves to hate on EA, but don't forget Destiny 2 is still out there, and it's fun to hate on. And there's already been a few different controversies since the game has launched about shallow content and the way they were treating in-game XP and currency acquiring and stuff like that. But the latest one is a little more interesting, and it's fairly similar to what we've seen with MMOs before, but a little bit differently. They have locked a good amount of content behind a paywall that if you haven't pre-ordered the expansion, you can't do that content to get ready for the expansion. So what they did here with the Curse of Osiris coming up, that expansion is allowing you to raise your maximum power from 300 to 330. But that's relatively irrelevant because there's some in-game content that had a power level that everybody could access, regardless of whether or not they pre-ordered the expansion. But now you can only get your power level up to a level to do that content if you've pre-ordered the expansion. So they basically locked out of a bunch of players who don't have the season pass, who don't have that pre-ordered, out of content that they were able to do just last week. Now, long story short, I'm not that familiar with Destiny 2, so I may be getting the specifics wrong there. But as far as I can understand, it looks like there was content that was available with the base game that's no longer available with the base game unless you've pre-ordered the DLC. And in addition to that, Curse of Osiris will bring back those playlists that were available in Destiny 1 as part of the base game. They're not part of the base game this time. In order to get access to that content that was just kind of part of Destiny 1, you'll have to also pre-order Curse of Osiris and own it, and then you'll be able to get access to that strike list. So We've seen this kind of thing with MMOs before, and Destiny is kind of like the console MMO, so I guess it's not that surprising, but I do know a lot of players are upset about it, and I think that they have a right to be. But I think even a Destiny 2 player who might be forgiving of this should understand that you absolutely should not take away content that I already had access to, and even if you make some changes to it and modify it, I don't think you should hide it behind a paywall. Now, World of Warcraft did that when they redid Dungeons, but I didn't think that was great then either, so who's to say? Sorry for such a short video, but it is a very slow news week as of the time of the recording of this, but I do want to give a shout out to the folks at Verve for sponsoring this video. Now, if you love watching online content and anime and things along that lines, Verve is a really great way to do it, and you can do it on pretty much any device. And if you click on the link in the description box below, they will give you a 30-day ad-free trial of their premium service. Now, if you like anime, don't forget this does include Crunchyroll, so you can watch anime either subbed or dubbed through Verve, but then it's got access to stuff like Mondo. You can watch the latest episodes of Harmon Quest. You can watch Rooster Teeth content. You can watch all kinds of great stuff all in one app or on one package over there on Verve. But a show I know that'll get you to sign up immediately, they are now streaming Dragon Ball Super dubbed over there. So if you want to click on the link in the description box below, you can start watching that right away. And don't forget, you'll be supporting me and my channel at the same time. And so, like I said, it was a bit of a slow news week, but big thank you to the sponsor for sponsoring this video anyway. Thank you guys for watching it anyway. I know that because I film these on Wednesdays, there's some news that happens, but I'll try to talk about that in the next video. Of course, I know we get the Game Awards this week and things along that lines. Let me know what games you're playing. What are you planning on picking up for Christmas? What consoles? What systems? Let me know in the comments section below. Guys, as always, thanks for watching. I love you very much. I'll speak with you again soon.